The Buddhist concept of non-attachment is a fundamental teaching that lies at the core of Buddhist philosophy and practice, and one that, regardless of whether you want to be a Buddhist or not, it's a concept you can learn from and use to improve your life. Non-attachment is often expressed as one of the key principles of the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, both of which serve as foundational frameworks for understanding and alleviating suffering. The Buddha taught that suffering is an inherent part of human existence, and that attachment is a primary cause of suffering. His insights led to the formulation of the middle way, a path that advocates finding balance. When we are attached to something or someone, our happiness becomes dependent on them. If these attachments are disrupted or don't meet our expectations, we experience disappointment, grief, or frustration. Attachment can also make us resistant to change. We cling to the familiar because it provides a sense of security and identity. This resistance can hinder personal growth, as we may avoid opportunities that challenge our attachments. Attachments can also limit our perspective and understanding of the world. We may become entrenched in our beliefs and unable to consider alternative viewpoints. Attachment in relationships can lead to problems such as jealousy, possessiveness, and unrealistic expectations. These issues can strain relationships and hinder genuine connection and love. Non-attachment means not clinging to or becoming overly attached to anything, whether it be material possessions, relationships, desires, or even one's own ego. Non-attachment is rooted in the understanding of impermanence. Buddhists recognize that all things are transient and subject to change. Nothing in the world is permanent, and clinging to impermanent things inevitably leads to suffering. Attachment often arises from craving and aversion. Craving is the desire for things to be different, while aversion is the desire to avoid certain experiences. Both craving and aversion are sources of suffering. Non-attachment also extends to the idea of the self. Buddhists believe that there is no permanent, unchanging self or ego. Attachment to the self is a significant source of suffering, as it creates a sense of separation and identity that is subject to loss and change. Non-attachment is often misunderstood as detachment, but there is a crucial difference between the two. Non-attachment does not involve separating oneself from the world or withdrawing emotionally. It means engaging with life fully, but without clinging or craving. It is a state of being where you can enjoy the things of the world without being controlled by them. Detachment implies a disconnection from life and a lack of engagement. It often comes from a place of indifference or apathy. Detached individuals may withdraw from relationships, responsibilities, and desires, which can lead to a sense of emptiness and disconnection. Non-attachment does not mean giving up or renouncing the world. It is not a call to live a life of poverty, celibacy, or solitude. Instead, it encourages a balanced and mindful engagement with life's experiences. Non-attachment allows one to fully participate in the world while maintaining inner peace and freedom from attachment's grip. By letting go of attachment, individuals can liberate themselves from the suffering and pain caused by clinging to impermanent things. The practice of non-attachment can help reduce stress and anxiety associated with the fear of loss or the desire for gain. Attachments can take various forms, and in Buddhism, they are categorized into three primary types. Many people are attached to wealth, possessions, and material comforts. They believe that acquiring more will bring happiness, but this attachment can lead to a cycle of craving and dissatisfaction. Attachments in the form of romantic love, friendships, or family relationships can be a source of suffering. Clinging to someone for happiness can lead to insecurity, jealousy, and heartache. People often become attached to their circumstances, whether they are pleasant or unpleasant, or attached to expected outcomes. This can result in resistance to change and a narrow perspective on life, and frustration when expected outcomes don't come to pass. The practice of non-attachment involves several key steps. Mindfulness. Developing mindfulness allows you to become aware of your attachments and recognize when they arise. Acceptance. Acknowledge that attachments are part of human nature but do not define your true self. Letting go. Practice letting go by releasing attachments to specific outcomes, situations, or desires. Contentment. Cultivate contentment with what you have, rather than constantly seeking more. Several practices can help individuals cultivate non-attachment. Meditation. Meditation fosters self-awareness and helps individuals let go of mental and emotional attachments. Mindful living. Practicing mindfulness in daily life allows you to fully engage in the present moment without being fixated on past or future desires. Gratitude. Cultivating gratitude for what you have can reduce the need for attachment to external possessions or circumstances. Self-inquiry. Reflect on the nature of the self and question the validity of attachments. Ask yourself whether attachment truly brings lasting happiness. So, how do we release attachments? We must learn to let go. We're not going to break out into the Frozen movie song, but do so if you must. Letting go is not a passive act, but a conscious decision that we make in our lives. It involves recognizing the attachments and emotional entanglements that no longer serve us and actively choosing to release them. The first step in letting go is becoming aware of what we're attached to. This awareness often arises from introspection, mindfulness, or self-reflection. We must identify the thoughts, beliefs, relationships, or material possessions that we are clinging to. We must then acknowledge their impact on our lives. This involves recognizing how these attachments may be causing suffering, limiting our freedom, or hindering our personal growth. Acceptance is a crucial part of the process. It means acknowledging that we cannot control everything or everyone in our lives. We accept that change is a natural part of life, and attachments can prevent us from embracing that change with grace. Once we have awareness, acknowledgement, and acceptance, we're in a position to make a conscious decision to let go. This decision is an active choice to release our grip on attachments that are no longer serving us. Letting go is not always easy, and it may require commitment and perseverance. We commit to our decision to let go and remain steadfast in the face of resistance or discomfort. Contemplating questions can be a valuable practice when you're trying to let go of a situation. These questions can help you gain clarity and insight into your attachment and the process of releasing it. Here are some questions to contemplate. What am I truly attached to in this situation? Understanding the core of your attachment is essential. Is it a person, an outcome, a belief, or something else? How is this attachment affecting my well-being? Reflect on the emotional, mental, and physical impact of your attachment. Is it causing stress, anxiety, or other negative emotions? Is it hindering your personal growth or happiness? What am I afraid of losing? Attachments often stem from a fear of loss. Contemplate what you fear losing if you were to release this attachment. Is it a sense of security, identity, or comfort? Is this situation within my control? Assess whether the situation is something you can control or influence. If it's beyond your control, recognize the futility of holding on too tightly. What is the worst-case scenario if I let go? Consider the worst possible outcome if you were to release your attachment. Realize that even in the worst case, you have the inner resources to cope and adapt. What benefits might arise from letting go? Explore the potential positive consequences of releasing the attachment. This could include reduced stress, greater freedom, personal growth, and the possibility of new opportunities. Am I living in alignment with my values and principles in this situation? Reflect on whether your attachment is in line with your core values and principles. If it contradicts your values, it may be a sign that letting go is the right choice. Have I learned what I needed to from this situation? Consider whether the situation has taught you the lessons or provided the experiences you needed. If so, it may be time to move on. What would my life look like without this attachment? Imagine how your life might change and what new possibilities could emerge if you were to release this attachment. What steps can I take to begin the process of letting go? Contemplate the practical actions you can take to initiate the process of letting go. This might involve setting boundaries, seeking support, or gradually disengaging from the situation. Contemplating these questions can provide you with valuable insights and clarity as you work toward letting go of a situation. Letting go of attachments is a conscious choice that we make after recognizing them and their impact on our lives. It involves a process of awareness, acknowledgement, acceptance, and an active decision to release what no longer serves us. Commit to identifying at least one unhealthy attachment and go through the process of letting it go. We'd love it if you'd share your experiences in the comments. Please subscribe if you want to more peace and happiness in your life. And watch this video next to learn what duality is, how it hurts us, and how to overcome it.